Good evening, everyone. This is Josh from Floridaman Does Weather. Just wanted to give a update on where we stand with the hurricane conditions for the Gulf. So, this is the state of the Gulf, August 6, 2025, going over the hurricane conditions for our states in the Gulf region. Going ahead and taking a look at our sea surface temps here. As you can see, um, we do have an eddy that has come off of the loop current. It's that pocket of 31 plus degrees Celsius water. Most of the Gulf right now is currently sitting at about 87 degrees. As you move closer to Florida and into the eddy, the temperatures start pushing the lower 90s, and they're in the lower 90s along the coast of Florida. So we are looking at prime fuel for a potential hurricane in the future if one were to come. The conditions are setting up really well in regards to ocean heat content. We have 10-meter ocean heat content is very high, mid to upper 80s. There is a solid uh, stack of warm water out there. Now, of course, that does not mean that we are going to get a hurricane. It's just the last few weeks of the high pressure dome that has been baking the southeast has been baking the Gulf as well. And in the process of it baking those waters, they're getting really hot. Tampa Bay actually today recorded a 94 degrees on one of the buoys. A lot of the buoys up and down the Florida west coast are sitting in the lower 90s right now. So, granted, those shelf waters are shallow, but the eastern Gulf right now is practically jet fuel in regards to latent heat content. And that's what hurricanes have. Hurricanes are what we call a Carnot engine, which means they operate off of heat. They are heat-driven machines. They are extremely efficient at pumping excess heat back out into space. Um, so heat is their primary source, what we call latent heat. That's available heat in the water. And this fuel source right now is really prime for development. Thankfully, there's nothing there right now, but the conditions are definitely there, and they are definitely favorable once the time comes if we get a system. Looking at our shear tendency map right now, Florida's kind of in the center there, a little hard to see underneath all of the different colors in the lines. Um, the Gulf, majority of the Gulf is in the dark blue region, which means we are in a region of light shear right now, as the Madden-Julian Oscillation is starting to shift into a more hurricane-conducive environment. Shear tendency is starting to become more favorable. As you look through the Eastern Caribbean across the Atlantic, you'll notice that shear is dropping as well. That is significant. Take note of that because one of the slides I'm about to show you, I'm going to be referencing that again. But just note that shear is decreasing rapidly across the Atlantic right now in the southern portion, and that is very important. So if you look at this slide right here, I have GOES 19, and GOES 19 is showing us using infrared, what's out there right now. So, like we were saying, the ocean heat content is very hot in the Gulf, but we have nothing cooking right now, and that's a good thing. There's a big blob of reds off the coast of Florida. Don't worry about that. That's just our everyday sea breeze storms. We had a very active afternoon and evening. Some strong storms moved offshore, and that's what you're looking at right there. But we have no system out there right now. There's hints that there could possibly be something that tries to cook up this weekend on the stalled front. We'll keep you guys posted on that. We'll be watching. Right now, nothing is really bullish on it, but we will definitely let you know if that becomes something of a concern for any of the neighboring states or the state of Florida. Okay, this is our friend, the Saharan dust map. Orange, red, pink, it's all self-explanatory. That's dust. The wider areas are regions of extreme dust. As you can tell, there's not as much dust as there used to be. Um, there was quite a bit at the beginning of the hurricane season. That's why the hurricane season was quiet. Everything was being stifled. As you notice, coming off the coast of Africa now, it's not the case anymore. A lot of that dust is gone. Wave 1 that is halfway across the Atlantic right now, is doing a really good job of pushing the Saharan dust out of its way. That wave, don't think is going to be a threat to the United States, but that wave is significant because that wave is pushing all of this dry, dusty air out of the way and is essentially trailblazing a path for the storms that come off of Africa behind it. Which brings me to this point. Wave 1, you can see it here on the map. It's halfway across the Atlantic. That wave is expected to recurve and move out to the Atlantic Ocean. Create some waves, but besides that, not really much. That wave that you see, which is the reds and yellows that is coming off of Africa right now, I personally feel, in my professional opinion, that one's going to be a problem. The good news is it's a couple of weeks off, but if you'll notice, the storm tendency, okay, if you watch the clouds, they're moving to the southwest. We usually watch waves that are coming off of Africa moving to the southwest because that's what we call low riders. Those low riding waves that come off of Africa don't normally get picked up by the ridge and pulled north. That means that they usually truck all the way across the Caribbean, and if they can survive, then we may have problems in the Western Caribbean and Gulf in a couple of weeks. Now, that being said, think about that shear map that I was talking to you about a moment ago. That shear map shows that there's light shear across the Atlantic. We looked at the Saharan dust map, and wave 1 in front of him is pushing all of that Saharan dust out of the way. So, considering this wave is not particularly a fast mover, at least not at the moment, it's going into a moisture-rich environment and an area of low shear. Wave 2, the wave currently coming off of Africa, is going to be something that we may be looking at in a future state of the Gulf, because that may be a problem down the road. The good news is it's several weeks off, but we will be watching it and keeping an eye on it and letting you guys know if that becomes a problem in the future. Can't believe I had to say it, but listen, don't fall for this. This model run, this is the 18Z from today's GFS model, showing two massive hurricanes. This is just one slide. It ends up showing two Category 4s, Florida sandwiched between two Category 4s. Don't fall for this. It's nonsense. Okay? It's hour 372. Is it possible wave 2 coming off of Africa could be a problem? Yes. Is it a cause of concern that we're watching early on? Yes. A lot of things can happen between now and then. There's a lot of variables. This right here is GFS model error. There's a couple of issues in the equation. There's a little bit of error that was introduced in the system. And at hour 372, it is magnified way out. And so what you see right there, it's a combination of the GFS trying to lean on climatological references and error that's been introduced in the model. This is fake. This is false. If you see people saying it, yes, it's on the model run, but it's not a realistic scenario. That's not going to happen. Once again, thanks for watching. Please be sure to subscribe and share if you haven't done so already. That helps us in regards to us getting our content out to everyone. The difference, like me and Caleb have always said, is me and him are actual meteorologists. That's the difference between us and a lot of the informational pages you see out there just spewing model data and churning out charts. We actually have gone to school, put in the years, gotten our degrees, and we can break it down for you in terms that you actually understand because we actually know what we're talking about. Thanks, everyone, and have a great evening. Florida Man is out.